Everything that clanks.
All that sound out.
Yeah, everything that clanks. That's okay. We'll just so we have a camera up here.
Okay.
Too.
Okay.
Because if I always like showing behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
I would say Alex or Zoe or Tommy, and you wouldn't see them, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So that's ridiculous.
No,
and
I like
by the
that.
way, we can swear here.
Okay.
Because
good.
we never swear in anger.
Okay.
So if I drop an F-bomb, don't be surprised that a
fine.
grandmother can drop it
You're-
so
you're-
easily.
You're fine. You know. I've been around you, so you know. I know.
You've been around me.
Yeah,
But I
all good.
wanted to tell you how jealous I was of my daughters. The only time I've ever been jealous of my daughter, I went, she gets to spend a lot of time with Blake and Logan.
Oh,
and
that's so
I'm
funny.
like,
That's so funny.
yep, what I did do though is I took a lot of pictures for you.
Oh yeah. You
Right?
hooked me up with all that stuff.
I took some good
Yeah, your family
pictures.
helped me a lot with my business.
Yeah.
You know, and just getting the
So
start.
so you move here. First of all,
Mm.
why you would move here is beyond me. So I just,
Yeah.
I want to tell you about when you walked up around Westlake and
Mm-hmm.
Calabasas and didn't see a lot of people like yourself. What
Yeah.
did you think?
I don't know. I've always just kind of thrived in that kind of element. You know
They
what I mean?
need me.
Yeah, it's like a uniqueness to it. Like,
Exactly.
You know?
These people really deserve me to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even with just being in California, I've always had that thought in my mind just as a youngster, just seeing it on TV, kind of that dream of wanting to be in California, you know?
I did the same thing.
So that was that's why I moved here. was really
Gidget,
that.
the surfing, Malibu Barbie.
The palm trees, all that stuff.
That's right. Because where did you grow up?
In Georgia, Tyrone, Georgia. Country too,
Tyrone.
backwoods,
Yeah.
different type of living.
Give me your best country when you were a country boy and you were talking. Give me
Oh man, I don't know. The biggest thing I know is that we put words together. So not really I'm not gonna have that twang, I would say, but our words mold together. And it's
so you make these compound words that.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you think of one off the top of your head? If someone's asking.
I know we say y'all a lot, so y'all
my
is
God,
one.
You include everybody.
Yeah, I feel like no one really says y'all. So I try to, even how I talk today, I kind of take stuff out here and there. I slow my talking down so I can
Yeah. When you
not
go
put
back
it together.
home, does it
When I go back home, I'm sure it flows, I think it's hard to think of it right now, but
Yeah. Well, if you
it
think of one while we're
flows.
talking, let me know,
Yeah,
because
I'll
I
let you
think
know.
that's
I'll
funny.
let you know for sure.
So I've always loved the Southern accent. Of course, I
Yeah.
have the Boston accent.
Yeah,
Wicked
oh,
pissa.
yeah. Oh,
You
yeah, I
want to go
love
to the
it.
Packy, get some beers?
See, I love that.
And I go, what the is
Yeah.
the Packy? And I go, it's the package store where you go
The
and buy
Packy.
beer. The Packy, right?
That's amazing.
All right. So I should tell everybody who I'm talking with.
Okay.
I'm talking with Blake Brewer.
Yes, ma'am.
Blake, you played MLB ball. You were there.
Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah.
You went from Tyrone, Georgia. Did you play in college?
No, I actually got drafted out of high school.
Oh, that makes you
Yeah.
even more special. I mean, come on now.
Not really. When I look back at it now, just with how I was, I felt like I could have been a little bit more mature. So I would have said, if I was my parent, I would have definitely went to school first and then went pro after that.
So your family, you're the first one to do anything like that?
No, actually, my brother, he got drafted pretty high. He was a big time prospect coming out of high school as well. He got drafted out of high school right before me, 2 years before me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we got two brothers. How many years difference?
2 years. Yeah, 2 years.
2 years difference. So you're watching him.
Yeah, I'm watching him. Oh,
Yeah, he's leading the way.
Yeah. I think he was the number 2 player in the country when I was coming up as a sophomore in high school. So for baseball, he was pretty legit. Yeah.
So wasn't there pressure on you and as a
Oh,
sophomore?
I loved it though, because I was like that younger brother who I always felt like I was better
I'll
than my
get
brother.
you.
Yeah, I would dominate him in practice and I loved it. So it wasn't really a thought for me, I just wanted to be better than him.
I knew nothing about that. So here's what's interesting about you. When you meet people and you don't know their background, you're so laid back and you're great, right? Great. Now I'm seeing the sophomore go, I'm going to get him.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I'm definitely the brother that talks shit to my brother too, all the time, Still to this day
What
when I
did your
call him.
parents think about both of you being these great baseball players? And why baseball? How did that happen?
We both loved other sports. So my brother loved football, But baseball, the opportunity just came, especially, in the situation we were, a lot of money being thrown at him at that time. So it really made him choose baseball. Right. And he just happened to be really good at baseball. But he put more time into, I would say, football. And the same thing for me, basketball was my sport.
I was going to say, you're pretty tall.
Yeah. And then once he went baseball, it kind of changed my mindset. Like, I want to go baseball too. So.
And what did Dad do? What did Mom do? Like, what's the background of them?
My mom was a flight attendant. She's she's still a flight attendant to this day, and I think she has like 35 years at Delta.
Wow.
Yeah, she moves. She moves around. It's crazy.
So she could come to your games a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
You're on the road, right?
Oh yeah, she would come down to Miami and come check me out and stuff like that. And then the same with my brother, who would be in Milwaukee. So she would check both of us out.
Do you have any other siblings?
Younger sister.
Younger sister who doesn't play baseball.
She doesn't play. She doesn't play. Probably enough for her just with us.
Thank God she was a girl, so she didn't have to go through that pressure, because if it was a younger boy, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it would have been a lot. It would have been a lot of pressure, I did have my other brother who passed away, so we did have a third brother, but he passed away in a car accident when I was younger. This happened when we were like 8.
Whoa. You're talking to a therapist, trauma informed.
Yeah.
Blake.
Yeah. And my sister's adopted.
Yikes.
Yeah.
First of all, how your mother ever got through that, and was Dad around, or did Dad struggle?
Yeah, Dad was around. He was around.
Yeah. Okay. So we get Dad and Mom. They lose a child, the worst thing that can ever happen to you. And they adopt a child.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people almost stop their life? They live in that grief.
Oh, I can't imagine.
The marriage falls apart.
The marriage did fall apart. So
it did.
That happened, yeah.
That happens because where do you put that, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
And who was driving the car?
My dad.
Oh, Blake.
Yeah.
You lost your whole family for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know that? Because your older brother is now going to have to be there when Dad is not, and your mom's in grief, and I'm sure she stayed strong and was still in grief. So what did you do? What was your role in that? What did you do when that happened?
I mean, I was so young at the time. I think I might have been like 6. My brother might have been like 8, 10, 9.
Still
so
6 is, you got kids now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Think how smart your 3-year-old is right now, right?
For sure.
She catches you on
No, for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
So I know I was aware, but I'm not sure like what I totally like was doing. I mean, I could just have these little memories of like I could see him in certain instances, but but knowing him factor does not really, I don't really remember too many moments.
Did you ever think about trying to make them happy or trying to help them as they were falling apart? Were you that kid?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's usually the second one that does that. Brother goes off. He's just going to be that overachiever. Yeah. That's how he's going to deal with it. And you're the one that's kind of...
Oh, yeah. I was the one definitely playing both sides. I would sleep on the couch with my dad because I remember that time when he was sleeping on the couch and I would sleep on the other side just like because I wanted to be down there with him, so for sure.
Does talking about this now and having children, I mean... You don't think about how impactful that was for your family until you have your own kids, right? Now you're going, 100%. Whoa, if one of them died, which of course is the worst thing to happen. And of course you went through with Logan having leukemia.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever told you this. When he got it the second time, I told him that, I said, Logan, you know why you got leukemia twice? Because he knows I'm a wise ass. He goes, why is that, G-Ma? I said, because you come from a family of overachievers. Wow. So I had to get it twice. And of course, it would make them laugh. But I mean, the fact is, when we face these things, especially with children, it's unbelievably difficult.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
I couldn't imagine. Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to tell you something, though, that's interesting before you tell me more about your story.
Okay.
We always talk about post-traumatic stress disorder. So we talk a lot about when a bad thing has happened. So even your dad driving after that, you kids being in the car, whoever. Was it just him in the car with the
Yeah, it was
baby?
just him. Yeah, my mom always told me I was supposed to be in the car too. So
now talk about you getting in a car, right? I bet you like to drive.
Oh yeah, I love it.
You don't like being in the passenger seat.
No, I feel like I'm never a passenger.
Really,
I feel like I'm always driving.
That's how shit happens.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, and the thing, your wife's going, "Why do you always have to drive?" Trust me, I have to drive.
Yeah.
You have to drive.
I like being in control with the car.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
That's exactly right. Yeah. That's where that comes from. So I do want to give you one thing that your mom might identify with, and maybe even your dad. trauma does give us anxiety and depression, and we're hypervigilant and we're nervous. Like, I was in a bad car accident as a kid with my family, and going around a corner, if I'm in the back seat, I'm like this because I can remember that sensation. It's a bodily sensation. What we also discovered was something called post-traumatic growth. It's a real thing. Logan has it. Kirsha has it. Anybody who's gone through trauma, you probably have it, and your mom and dad. And what it means is when you go through a terrible tragedy, you also get some gifts. Horrible gifts, meaning on the one hand of the sadness and strength on the other. So we discovered post-traumatic growth about 45 years ago from a support group of parents that lost a child. That would have been your mom and dad in those rooms, talking about the worst grief ever, and also saying, I'm going to learn to be a better dad or mom because I know I can lose a child at any time. I'm now going to do something in their honor. I'm now going to take care of life better than I ever did before. So it really does that. And so when you tell me that, whenever I speak with someone who's in a family that's lost a child, I remind them that your family also got some amazing strengths from this.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
And you'd still not want them. I'd rather go to life without them. And yet, and even our own family got it. As well.
No, for sure.
So now you're out of Georgia and you're playing ball. Tell me how you got from high school. Tell me that, because all of us that are never going to ever play professional ball or sports, I want to know what it's like when someone knocks at your door, when they're sitting in the stands. Tell me the process. How does that work?
Well, the process is, I kind of went through the process with my brother, where he was like a real top prospect. So like we would have people coming to the school, trying to talk to him all the time, or meeting us at the car when we're leaving, trying to go home, or at the house every night, like agents and these sort of things. So, I mean, I kind of knew that process of knowing where I was ranked, knowing that I would go in the draft. I had someone that was kind of representing me. They couldn't,
because they were already looking at you thinking, I bet he might be as good as his brother.
And then my brother was 6'1", so I'm 6'5", so I was a little bit bigger than my brother. Tall
we gotta pay for 4 more inches.
So and I was a pitcher. Pitching was my thing. So I was in high school maybe 94 to 95 off the mound. So we kind of had an idea that I was gonna get drafted, but the decision was going to school or going pro, either one. So that was really what it was.
Do you think that the death of your younger brother, and the trauma in your family, do you think that influenced your decision to not waste any time going to college?
That maybe, and then just wanting to be like my brother. I just wanted to be like my older brother too. And I was just I want to go pro like he did.
That's it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's sort of interesting now that we're talking and sitting, that some of these things you might not have thought about yet, it sometimes influences us. So I want you to know I'm second-born girl.
Okay.
So there is, and I do want you to know that there's some science about your place in the family as a sibling. So firstborn follows in the footsteps of the same gender parent more times than not. That doesn't mean your brother's actually doing what your dad did, or that, and yet there seems to be a propensity that they will do that more often. Is that true with your brother?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Isn't that, when I say shit like that and someone starts to smile, I go, okay, they're part of that.
No, pretty much.
Okay, but wait, it's you and I now. We're second-borns, right? Yeah. So remember, you'll never be first. So when you'll never be first, think of the pressure of, I'm never going to be first, right? So I have to make my own way, and I have to be first at something else.
Exactly.
First to leave Georgia permanently, first to not do the family business, first to start my own baseball league, which you have done, we'll talk about next. We are so different. Sometimes we're even emotionally different. Are you that disruptor?
Yeah, 100%. No, 100%.
You can only imagine. I'm 3,000 miles away. You're 3,000 miles away. I mean, we are the disruptors in the family.
Definitely.
And it's hard on them because a lot of times then the third child goes back into the group.
Yeah.
So then it really makes
That seems like that's true for us.
Yeah, right?
That seems like that's true for us. My brother and sister live in Alabama now. And
that's what I'm saying.
You see what I mean? There? I'm like, oh
and they didn't take the risk that you took
to
do this league. That was a huge risk.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, I didn't see it like that, but
Are you kidding me? How are you going to make any money? Well, you're kind of in a rich community, so that's the good news. But the bad news is there was no guarantee. There was nothing.
Yeah, no, I really had no idea. I just kind of.
So tell me about Prime. First of all, every time I say that, Logan, Paul, I know you don't want to talk to me because you're so afraid of talking to me and doing mental health work with me, but I'm going to get you someday, get your whole rest of your family.
Come on, Logan.
So we got to make a deal with Logan about Prime Baseball, Prime Drink, supporting Prime Baseball.
Yeah, I love that.
You got the same names, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And you have scholarships. I mean, right? All right. So we'll talk to you later, Logan.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. Tell me you move here with the idea to do this, or the idea? No idea. No idea to do it. No, I had no idea. What the? I thought, I'm thinking he's going to tell me the story about
for sure. And I mean, I think I had a lot of pain as far as like, finishing, for an athlete, getting out of the sport and kind of knowing what to do. I just remember like trying to figure everything out, not knowing what I was going to do. I think I had met someone and they liked me and they knew I played professional baseball and they got me a job doing accounting. And so I was doing accounting for a little bit and that was
because you know how to count
strikes? No, I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything. But he was like, man, you're an athlete, man. You'll adjust. I was like, yep, you're right. You're right.
My God.
But then that kind of got like just, sitting at a desk all day. I couldn't do that. That was just like
where were you going to find a desk that you could even fit in?
Well, that's tough too,
Yeah.
Legs all against the table and stuff.
Right.
So I mean, that was kind of rough. Just looking at
was
numbers
that out
all day.
Here?
I was in Koreatown actually.
Oh
yeah, I was in Koreatown. Yeah.
Okay, well, you got some good kimchi.
I was making good money though, so that was a good thing.
Good food.
So that good food.
Okay.
The food thing for sure. Like oh my gosh, yeah.
Korean
I had
barbecue.
never eaten Korean barbecue before like that.
It's crazy good.
So that was really good. But then I did a little baseball coaching on the side. I kind of got something from Agora High School. I'm not even sure how that happened because I didn't even apply for it.
Bless you, because we wouldn't have met you.
Yeah, that's how I got in this area, and I didn't know this area before. And then all I knew was like Kardashians from Calabasas or something. That's all we people from out of town.
Listen, their office is right next building over.
That's crazy.
So we'll invite them over sometime.
Yeah, so that's all I knew was that type of thing. And I was like, oh, okay, that area. And then I saw how they kind of ran things there. Couldn't really make a living off doing like the coaching at the school. So then I started thinking like maybe I'll start something on my own, and then started that up. That's where Logan came onto that team, and we had one team, and we kind of developed that team, and that team did really well. And then more kids started coming and started filling in, and then got a facility, and then it kept growing.
And it's called Prime Baseball.
It's called Prime Baseball. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Explain it to everybody. You've got many more than one team now, so we were one of those. I call us one of the OGs.
The OGs.
Right, we were
not one of them. You guys were.
We were the OGs. Wait, I could even just put my daughter developed your logo.
Oh yeah.
She helped put the nonprofit side together.
She did a lot. Yeah, she did a lot. She was doing a bit of everything.
She's a force of nature.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Kisha helped so much.
All right. So now you start this league, and it's a league where kids can play winter and.
Well, they'll play majority of the time year round. And for the kids, I mean, we do kids from like 8 all the way up to the high school level, and we just develop them. And it's the kids that want to play this game at a high level and want to get better and stuff like that. And I don't know, for myself, I found a passion in just coaching. I felt like now my injury and all that stuff is like it like mentally it makes me at ease knowing that like, oh, I found my purpose. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So just helping these kids and helping them develop, knowing how to talk to them. I have like a lot of patience with the kids, which it takes. I feel like I can read the kids very well. So it's just been a good journey as far as just like being around. Like,
how many teams do you have now? How do people get into it?
Yeah.
Are you expanding any place else other than around here? Do you have a way of being that you could train other people to do a Prime Baseball? Or
no, I mean we have right now 12 teams.
What?
Yeah,
Whoa,
12 teams. I mean, we'll fluctuate. Sometimes we'll have a little bit more. It just depends, like when the high school kids come in and stuff.
Yeah.
But we'll fluctuate from like 12 to 15 teams like that and stuff like that. And then we have a lot of kids that come train with us that play on other teams as well. We have our facility in Westlake Village off Via Colinas that, it's open every day. And we got a lot of people that come in there. Our teams practice.
Is that where Logan used to go?
Yeah, that's where Logan used to go. Yep. Yeah. So we've been there. It's almost been 10 years. So. Pretty crazy.
So do you own it or co-own it now, or do you?
I own it. Yeah.
But you didn't. You just went in there and got hours before, didn't you?
No. Me, I have a co-owner too, Jesse Adams. So it's been us from the beginning. So both of us.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right, great. Because I thought the hitting zone or something like that.
No. We bought it. We bought it from a guy who he was selling it at the time, but it had been there for a while.
Right.
When we bought it, and then we took over probably like 9 years ago. Yeah.
So you have 12 teams, all different ages. tell me how you deal with girls. Got any girls on the team?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We want to.
Hello.
I have a daughter, so
yeah.
I'm definitely gonna be looking at adding softball for sure. It's gonna be a big thing adding softball.
So are they allowed to play on?
Yeah, they'll be allowed to play.
So
softball will be a whole nother thing. But if we got a girl that wants to play baseball and she is good enough, then she can definitely play. I'm down with it.
I want you to know that I played baseball on a camp league. Mm-hmm. So it was just a day camp league. Yeah. And this is before I even looked like a girl. Mm. And I was first base because I was also a dancer, so I could stretch off the bag.
So you
need
that.
Anybody, and I could hit. Until I caught had a little sweetheart named Hank. Okay. And he was playing shortstop, and somebody hit a line drive, not a line drive, but a one hop to shortstop. I stretched off the bag, put my glove out, and somehow I think I got mesmerized, and I just dropped my glove a little bit, got hit in the mouth. And in my career, my baseball career, I still love it. My mom taught me how to play baseball.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I never played softball. I was like, what the hell is that? That big ball, it doesn't go anywhere. Mm-hmm. And for little people like me, it's really hard. You give me a baseball bat and a hard ball, it's better for me.
No, I think too. I was telling my daughter, I'm like, if you're going to be really good, you got to play baseball.
You got to play baseball. Absolutely. Thank you. Bless your heart.
Play with the boys. You'll be fine.
That's it.
Then transfer over,
That's exactly right. Yeah, this is exciting news. And when we met you, you had no children.
No children, yeah.
Now you have two.
Got two, yep. 3 and a 1-year-old.
3 and a. Yeah. That's the best.
Oh,
that's the best.
Definitely.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, how's your patience now, Dad?
It's struggling a bit.
It's exactly right.
It's not
so
bad,
much
though.
easier with other kids than it is our own.
For sure.
Well, they know our buttons.
It's cool though. My daughter's. It's definitely interesting having a daughter because for me, I've been around boys my whole life, really, pretty much. So the screaming in the house, the kind of bossing around, trying to boss me around and stuff is funny.
Oh, firstborn. Cool. I just want to remember, firstborn follows in the footsteps of the same gender parent more times than not. So you just got a second wife.
That makes sense.
That
makes a lot of sense.
There you go. Right there, you go.
Oh man.
Remember secondborn though, and secondborn boy.
Boy. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's good. So you got one aligning with mom, one aligning with dad.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh,
that's awesome.
No, it's the best.
So tell me about, because we were that family.
Okay.
Tell me about when a kid wants to come and play, and it's just a little too expensive for the family.
Yeah, we offer like assistance, like if the kid wants it, we're there to help. We're not trying to turn anybody down who has the will and the hunger to get better. So for me, I actually I was in that situation, so I love giving back and helping kids that the parents might not have the funds or whatever. It's all good. So
you have a nonprofit, so people could actually make a donation, knowing that this was going to help pay for the cost of the kid traveling and doing what they need to do, even some equipment.
Exactly, even equipment, all that stuff. I mean, anything help upgrade the facility for us for the kids. It's all for the kids. It's all for our kids in prime, right? We have our facility for them to get better at all times. So it's like an unlimited access there for them.
That's. Like me, I've been in nonprofits all my life, so
it's like a home for them.
It's like the only thing I know is a nonprofit, and so when you did that, I was just so amazed. It's so unusual. I just want you to know that. No, can I still come and take some photos?
100%.
Oh, good, because I'm even better now. I've got video now in my camera. I can upload it. It's mirrorless. Okay, so I have 2 questions.
Okay,
what's your next? What do you want to see for the next 5 years with Prime? What's your goal?
I just want to see it expand to more kids. Where I live at now, I live in Port Hueneme, all right? Okay. That's where I live at in the area. And that's kind of an area that's kind of up and coming. So I'm thinking about maybe having a part of, Prime there as well, kind of expand to that area. And then obviously getting it out to other coaches who have a passion like I do and a passion like our coaches at Prime to possibly do a Prime as well and kind of coach them on doing that and stuff like that.
So this idea that you've come up with a profit-making and nonprofit situation, how to coach, how to travel, that you literally could now train other coaches to do like a Prime. Is that right?
Yeah. I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, that makes perfect. That's what I do now. When I started to do equine therapy, then I formed a certification so that they know, here's what I've learned. Here's what we now know. Because these kids are different than when you grew up.
Oh, yeah,
and
100%.
your kids are going to be different. Yep. And parents and people that work with kids deserve to know more about
100%.
how to coach in a new way. Yeah. It's not all this, do what I say, or, it's not that.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's a lot of everything, you kind of got to keep adjusting too. You know, as the kids are different, the kids, obviously, they go through maturing and these things. Like, we have like a thing when they're like 12, 13, like the kids mature a little bit and they start acting a little bit different, and it's like different ways to talk to each kid.
That's right.
And
it's a different way. I want you to hear what you just said, the wisdom. There's a different way of talking to each child.
Yeah, for sure.
So not lumping them all together and knowing each child and going to them in a way that they can understand.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, I think I do really well at that. I mean, I don't know where it came from, but I feel
Did your mom talk to you differently than your brother? Did you see her, or was she just one size fits all?
I think she was a little bit different. Yeah. I think so.
There might be. Yeah. See, as you go back and think, like, oh, wait a minute, Mom really did do this with me, and maybe even Dad too.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah. Or maybe you just figured it out when everybody was trying to talk to you the same way all the time. Every coach, it's so important. Look, I'm a mental health coach. I'm a licensed therapist, and I prefer to do coaching. Why? Okay. Because then I can do it with them.
Exactly.
I'm not asking them to do something that I'm not doing.
Yeah.
And as I look at you and I know you, one of the things that the kids get to see is you still know how to play baseball.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You're able to play baseball. You don't have 100 extra pounds on you, right?
Yeah,
You're doing the work.
Them.
You can still run that field. You can still run those bases.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And one of the things that we now know is that kids really appreciate when the adults do what they're asking them to do.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They respect it a lot more.
Exactly. I saw that. I saw that with my own eyes. I mean, these kids just like, whoa, they wanted to be like you. They didn't want to obey you. It wasn't about obeying you.
Yeah.
It was about being you.
Yeah.
That's everything. Like and it takes a village. Yeah, it takes more than a village now. It takes a world. Oh, yeah. And that idea that we knew Logan was getting things from you that we could never give him.
Oh, yeah.
That was, and I'm talking about emotionally. Never mind, how to catch a ball.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially for us. I mean, we want to see them succeed on the field, off the field. We know a lot of these kids are not going to make it professionally.
That's right.
So it's about the life lessons on the field, off the field. That's the biggest things, and then just enjoying the journey. Enjoying their friends and enjoying the best part of their life growing up.
And I believe this because it happened for me. I played sports, all through high school, and then I danced, and I'm still working out. I'm boxing downstairs.
Heck yeah, gotta keep it going.
Here's what I know. I know that the idea that if we don't help people mentally and emotionally, so with their thoughts and their feelings, there's only 3 things a person can do: think, feel, and act. And I've worked with Jake Paul, as most people know, and I did all the mental health stuff. And I had the honor of going to the Olympic training camp last March and helping with the Olympic boxers.
Okay.
And talk about breath work and meditation and just talking about your issues. Every single young boxer at that training facility had some family trauma. Every single one.
Wow.
And so at any time, you can be a great athlete, and that trauma can derail you. What you think about yourself, how you think. In fact, I work with a lot of athletes, and of course, I work with combat veterans in that transition period. But even before the transition period, my sense is if we can help the mental health of athletes before, during, and after the sport, how wonderful would that be?
That would be amazing.
It'd be amazing, right? Yeah. So that when you do have to take the uniform off, like you're ready for it because you planned it, because you were intentional.
Oh, yeah.
And you understood what was going to happen. So that transition is made better because you understand, I'm going to go back into what we call a civilian world, and I might struggle with this, or I don't know this, or I'm going to have to. And that's not such a big shock.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So this mental health is real important to me for athletes and for the families. And speak to me, if you had your way, what would be the mental health practices or things, and what are you doing now? Because I know you're doing some of it. What do you do that you think is the most important that the kids are asking for and need?
I think a big thing with youth sports in general, I think that the mental is kind of neglected, you know?
It is.
I feel like everybody's focused on like getting really good and like, you know, focusing on the physical part of it. That the mental, like they say in baseball, is 90% mental, but like nobody's like getting mental training.
That's
you know?
right.
And it's like, I feel like, I think about it with my kids. I tell my wife all the time, I'm like, we're going to have them working with someone like a mental coach. Like, I think that would be another step to the program as far as my program, thinking about it, like having a mental coach who can talk to these kids about dealing with failure, dealing with adversity. Because I feel like enough kids don't want to face the adversity or feel like they're getting something out of it by, you know, things not going their way or something like that. It's like it goes a long way by facing adversity, getting on the other side of it, and then using it for the future, you know, so...
Yeah, it's right up my alley. Anytime you want, I'll come over. Let me know. I'll come over. We should talk. Yeah. There's a Dr. Bruce Perry, and he took a whole way of being. He's a child psychiatrist, neurospecialist, and he put it together a whole way of being able to talk and deal with mental health for kid athletes. Okay. Like it's one, and I'll show it to you, and have a bunch of mental health coaches that have gone through that training, and it's amazing what he's come up with, knowing child development, knowing what happens to that brain the first 5 years, knowing what happens when parents are not stable or they're too involved in the coaching and man.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of that.
It's a lot of that.
You know,
sure. They're not honoring boundaries. It's like I remember when Logan was playing, and I could see myself getting too involved. And I remember, I forget who it was that taught me this, said, don't ask, how did you do? I mean, obviously you saw the game, right? Ask, how was it for you? It's his game.
Yeah, I like
how
that.
was it? It was sucked. No one worked hard. Like we were, dropping the ball, and I go, oh, that sounds like it was frustrating. So it was so frustrating. I said, well, what do you think has to happen for that not to happen again? Because we have to go to practice, like we have to try harder and be there. And I said, oh, who's going to do that? Well, I don't know. But he knew, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then if someday I say, how was that? Even if I watched the game, because it was awesome. We were all I made sure it was his game.
Exactly.
It's not my game.
Yeah.
I'm not out in the field.
I think a lot of parents kind of, think they're playing for themselves.
Exactly.
It's like it's the kid's game.
It's okay. You did really well. And the kid's like, what? What did you watch? I didn't do anything well on the field.
I see that all the time. I see that all the time.
Oh, honey, no, you'll do better next time. There's not going to be a next time. I don't want to do this. I'm done with it, right?
Yeah.
So that's things we can teach parents that it's just not necessary to say, especially parents that aren't going to a gym themselves.
Exactly.
Or any practice.
Exactly. I mean, I even feel for myself, with my kids, I'm not going to, I'm going to let them do their thing. I'm going to let their coach them.
That's it.
You got to be coachable, So,
got to be coachable.
You got to be able to listen and take instruction.
Right. As a parent, as a coach yourself, and certainly as a partner to someone, you're absolutely right. It's that constant adjustment.
Yeah, that's how we learn.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how we get better, accountability, all this stuff. It's like.
So how often do you go back to Georgia or Alabama where family is?
Maybe once a year right now. It's more of them coming out here.
I bet.
Yeah, they
Can
love it out here.
Can we come out and
say? They love it out here. So it's more of my parents and my family coming out here to, see the family and stuff. So it's good.
That's what happened to me too. They all came out here.
Yeah. That's the way to go. It's a little slower over there. So
right.
There's more time in the house, a little more chill. But out here, a lot of activities. We have a lot of fun. So yeah.
So I have a question that so you have to know about mental development of kids and young adults as they're going through, and you have to know their physical development.
Yeah.
Talk to me about it's kind of a controversy, or it's a difference of opinion of a kid pitching, and how hard and how long, and what's your story about that?
I mean, I think right now there's really a lot going on with that.
There is. I wanted to hear your opinion about it.
For me, I love for the kids to get up there and pitch. I love even especially for the younger kids, all of them should probably get up and throw a little bit at this age, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't believe in overdoing it, you know. For us, we play like kind of year round, you know. So I love the kids having breaks. I love for them to go out and, you know, maybe have a month off or 2 months off, even a couple of weeks off, whatever that is. But I feel like they all need a break. You know, I grew up playing 4 months of baseball. So for me, it's like, you know, you shouldn't be playing like you're in the big leagues right now.
That's right.
You know, we shouldn't be playing more games than a college team or a pro team. You know, for me, it's more about development and training, which it should be at the younger age rather than games, you know. And we get a lot of parents that are like, why are we not playing games? Why are we not playing games? And I'm just asking them, like, do you trust us? Do you trust me? That's why. That's why, you know, I'm coming from a place
Good question, because if you don't, you might want to go trust yourself.
Because I'm trying to lead you guys in the right way. You know, I'm trying to lead them in the right way where we keep us.
So you got to hold those boundaries.
Yeah, for
You're
sure.
the one in charge.
Yeah.
And they may be pushing you to push their son or to do more with their son or daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You got to hold that boundary because.
No, it's hard, too. It's hard, but, you know, I find it, you know, we're trying to protect these athletes and they're young. So, you know, they got a lot of baseball to play for a lot of them. So we're not going to win a World Series right now. So it's like, if we do, it's not that big, you know.
Right.
We're trying to see these guys succeed at a higher level later on in life. So, you know, so the training is more important to me.
I heard some research where you actually will get better at your sport if you go out and play other sports too.
Yeah, different body movements.
Yeah.
You learn different movements that you can use in that sport that you play. So you can come back and you'll be able to move a little bit better. You know, different things that the sport asks you to do. And just like leadership roles, all these different things. Like, you know, I find a lot of parents today, like they try to go and find a winning team rather than learning how to win. You know?
You hear that, parents?
That's something that's key. Learn how to win.
Find a winning team just so you can win. Not actually enjoy yourself, not actually love playing the game.
Yes, it's like I grew up like loving the game, like loving oh, these my friends, these my boys. Win or lose, you know, we out there trying our hardest and we're going to figure out how to win. We're going to figure out how to get better. And that's the journey that I feel like a lot of parents taking away from their kids now. I find kids now is like 10 years old. They've been on eight different travel ball teams. You're like what?
Right.
You're just teaching them if something goes wrong, leave.
That's right. You leave. You go right.
You know,
they didn't play my kid enough. We're not winning. And oh my gosh.
You know,
Kirsha introduced us to this. She's so good about. Well, first of all, she got Logan into t-ball, or he wanted to play. She never pushed him, and he thrived and loved it. And he played all the time that he was bald and throwing up on chemo. You know, he played baseball. And I'll tell you, Blake, and it can actually bring tears to my eyes, I actually believe that playing baseball with you and with all the kids and any of the other teams he was on, that was the greatest healing he ever got.
Yeah,
I believe that beyond that, playing that ball and watching him one day run on the field. We picked him up from the hospital, run on the field. He puts his uniform on, he throws up in the trash can and then goes out to out, you know. I mean, it was everything. And the kids supporting him playing as well. Oh, yeah. So now we've got this idea of like, what is this game all about? Is it just about winning, or is it about this idea of
it's the camaraderie. It's the camaraderie. It's the life lessons. I mean, for baseball, I tell kids all the time, this is like the best sport for life. You face ups and downs, right? Yeah. It teaches you how to be even keel and not get too high, get too low, you know, and those are big things in life, like, you know, use. But I think a lot of kids aren't learning that because, like you said, I think a lot of parents are trying to live through the kids and it's just about winning. It's just about winning. Like, you know, you'll get to that level where it's all about winning, but, you know, it's like... Some of these kids not that good and they're worried about that. And I'm like, come on, man. You know, so it's funny.
Out of all of the times that you've played baseball and all through your life, tell us one time that you'll be on that deathbed and you'll remember that moment. Do you have one or two?
From playing?
Yeah, from playing when you were on that field.
See. I'm trying to think that one moment. Probably would be just facing players that I was friends with. You know, I had a friend, Tim Beckham, and he went #1 my year. I got drafted out of high school. He played on the same travel ball team with me, and he was the number one player in the country. And we played on different high school teams. And, you know, it was just a thrill in just like facing, you know, a teammate that has been my teammate for the longest time, but we're in different high schools, and just, you know, the competition that we got to have against each other. And there's a lot of different guys that I've had that kind of competition with, but, you know, we were pretty close. So that was something that I enjoyed, like even just facing my brother in high school, like, you know, in practices and stuff, like those are the things you remember, you know, and just being with the different teammates. Like I played with a lot of guys who were like from Dominican Republic, Venezuela. You know, we talk a whole different language, and it's like that friendship that bond you have. Like I still have that bond with those guys. So it would definitely be the people that I met, you know, while playing or just competing against my friends and stuff like that.
Do you have one coach that
Jeff Swartzy?
Oh, that didn't take long.
Yeah, this is a coach with the Miami Marlins. He was somebody who just always believed in me, always pushed me, and he had a cool personality. He was just always getting after it, right? And
is he around still?
He's still around. I think he's still with the Marlins, and his kids played at the University of Florida. Like all of his kids played there. Two of them won a national championship with Florida. So they're pretty good players as well. I think a couple of them went pro as well. But he was just an amazing coach. Just always believed in me, always just talking me up, always competing. When I saw him, he was competing. He was back in the day still throwing the ball. He might have been 50, 60, and he's still letting it go. Like
that's what I'm talking about.
85, 90 miles per hour. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, so
that makes an impression on a kid when you do that,
sure.
right?
So he kind of,
you know what we're going to do?
What?
We're going to go online and find out his email, you know, when you he's still at the Marlins?
I believe he's still at the Marlins.
Still at the Marlins? Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to find his email, and
yeah.
we're going to send him a link to this.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
If I had his number right now, if you had his number on his phone, I'd make you call him.
I still like we follow each other on Instagram, so I still have a little contact with him. But
okay,
he's definitely one of the better coaches. Probably the best coach I've ever had.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so we're gonna let him know about this. Okay.
Okay, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Blake, before we end, tell me anything that you want to share that is so important to you about Prime, about life, about you. I always love when people come up and say, you know, they didn't ask me this. And I'm like, so this is the time. If there's anything you want to share.
Okay. I mean, any message that I could share, I would probably just say, like, you know, you can overcome anything. You know, I think that, like I said, when I moved out here, I was definitely clueless on, you know, life, clueless on what I was going to do, kind of down on myself, depressed, I would say, for sure, you know, trying to figure things out, but just never give up. You know, I definitely found my calling, and it worked for me, and it continues to work for me, thank God, you know, and, you know, anybody who's in that position now, you know, keep your head up and you'll find it, you know, is what I would share.
And I think about when we lose one thing, and if you can grieve that, like you got hurt, you couldn't play anymore in that league. And if you stay at least open, something sometimes comes along.
Yeah.
And if you stay open, if you just live in that sadness or that resentment,
it's hard.
You wouldn't have been able to take that position at Agora.
Oh, yeah.
And even though that wasn't the right one, it was one that led.
It led to something else.
It led to something else.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I so appreciate that. You know, I don't know if you know this, the name of my company, it's actually my way of life.
Okay.
And my mantra, because it had to be because of my own healing and all the shit I pulled and was pulled on me growing up. Yeah. It's called BeCrazyWell.
I love that.
And I would consider you one of those BeCrazyWell coaches.
Oh, yeah.
And people. Yeah. You're definitely a little crazy. That was a crazy thing you did.
Yeah, I get after it, too, when we're out there, too.
I'm going to start my own baseball.
Yeah. I had a lot of people tell me it's not going to work, too. So,
exactly.
Oh,
I know. And the BeCrazyWell, they're the ones that I look forward to, because they're the disruptors. They're the ones that change and make us better.
Oh, yeah.
Physically, emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually. That's what they do.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
So welcome to BeCrazyWell. So I'm excited. I'll come with my camera, and I do want to talk to you about, we can talk about maybe designing at least a night for parents about mental health, like how to help your kid who is an athlete and how not.
Yes.
And then anytime we want to sit with the kids and give them a couple of things they can do when they're, let's do that.
Let's definitely do it.
I would be honored.
Yeah, that would be great.
See, now I get a lot of time with you. See, Kirsha, I'm going to get my own time with him.
Let's go.
Let's go.
No, that would be awesome. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Stay BeCrazyWell. Remember that. BeCrazyWell.